Welcome to another edition of The Gloves Are Off with myself, Mr. Grant Browning, and I have two amazing entrepreneurs as guests. We have Andre Rose and we have Mr. Hugh Simmons.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
The subject, they're going to tell you what they do in a second, but the subject of today is the importance of not only feeding the body, but feeding the mind as an entrepreneur. So why don't you tell us a little bit of what you do first, and then we'll get Hugh in second.
Well, first of all, my name is Andre Rose, and I am a fitness and wellness professional, where I help individual men over 40 overcome visceral fat, which is the gut intake. So men who have this big, whatever fat in their stomach, is ensuring that they do take care of themselves.
He was laughing because me and Hugh are like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's helping men over 40 take care of themselves, where it has to do with visceral fat, where it's commonly called belly fat. You have to increase the testosterone level and decrease the estrogen level, because your estrogen level is increasing because men at the age of 20 start losing 2% of their testosterone level year after year after year continuously. So it's increasing your testosterone level and decrease your estrogen level. So that's a little bit of
wow. So that's why I get all teary-eyed in movies now, right? Big shouts out to Shireen, who is tuned in. Okay, so Hugh, why don't you introduce who Mr. Hugh Simmons is?
All right. Well, thank you so much, Grant, for having me. Hey, Andre, how are you?
Good. What's up?
It's good to see you. And to the viewers, hey, giving a shout out. I am a certified lifestyle speaker, author, and lifestyle coach. And essentially what I do is to help transitioning and creative professionals really articulate what I call their lifestyle value proposition. So what is your raison d'etre, what is your carpe diem, so I help individuals really articulate, as I would say, uncover your passion, unfold your purpose, and share the power of your story.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you can say, I'm one of your clients.
Oh. Thank you. Well, yes. Thank you. Yeah.
So guys, if this is the first time you're tuning into The Gloves Are Off, it's a show on business and success. And what we do is we usually pair two entrepreneurs together to get two different insights. And today we have the body and we have the mind. And the important as an entrepreneur, it's really important to take care of both. And unfortunately, as a growing entrepreneur, sometimes we only take care of one, and that's the mind. We don't really pay attention to our body, because we were just talking about this in Real Talk, was because of the timing. It's fast food.
Yes.
Right? Because we're always on the go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Andre, why don't you give us a little bit of insight about why it's important to take care of the body?
Well, for specifically, because if you are not taking care of yourself, then what happens is that you're going to have a lowering of the testosterone, more so to do with men. Women would have, where it comes to the testosterone as well, because women do have testosterone just as they do with estrogen level. Women with a circumference of 35 centimeters around their waist is considered obese.
Okay.
And at the same time, the testosterone level in their system is actually decreasing. So it's helping them to actually lose the testosterone, lose the fat that's in their system, where they have to now eat that's proper food, where it has to do with making sure that the kidney is right, making sure that the liver is right, because when you eat the food, it goes into the gut, and then it also processed through the liver, processed through the kidney, then goes towards to the liver. So it now able to keep the body in a good run, just like when you take care of your car, right? So you're going to make sure that you do go to the doctor and make sure that you keep yourself healthy at the same time.
And what a lot of people don't know is that if you don't exercise, and I'm talking from an entrepreneur point, if you don't exercise, it actually makes you more susceptible to stress.
Yes.
Because if you exercise, it actually produces, and you probably tell me what chemical it produces, but it produces a chemical that actually helps with combating stress and all these anxieties that we get as a business owner, right? And that's where you come in.
Well, building on that, and Andre did share some insightful perspective, and the fight or the flight, or the fright and the flight, is that really how do you make time, as you say, in this very fast-paced environment. But the whole thing around the stress, so you have eustress, which is really fuel, good energy, and I focus on helping not just my clients, but myself too, because I experience that as an entrepreneur and as a lifestyle coach, that there are times part of the struggle I have is anxiety, in terms of just delivering, not just personally, but professionally, in terms of deadlines. You have so many demands, the balance, between work and family, how do you make sure you curate, you coordinate and act in terms of making sure all the areas of your life, social, emotional, psycho-emotional, financial, spiritual, are all part of that. So, hearing from Andre, I'm excited because the over 40, I think I'm a very ideal client.
Well, the one thing I found from personal experience was leading up to Christmas, we were dealing with a lot of stuff at once. And I was becoming very stressed out over things, and anxiety levels were really high. I heard on one of the programs I listened to, which is on personal development, and he was talking about, first off, how many successful people do you actually see that are overweight? That was the first thing I thought, right? And it was like one of those aha moments, and I was pushing over 230 at the time, right? And he said, second of all, how do you expect to deal with stress and anxiety if your body can't handle it on a regular basis? So I took to exercising and starting to eat right. I'm today 30 pounds lighter, but
congratulations!
Wow.
Thank you. But
and I did notice it at the Business Expo.
I'm trying to rub it off. That's not the point. But the whole point is that I'm able to. I find that now, because every day I'm doing cardio, and I'm able to handle stress better. I'm able to think better. I'm able to take in information more, and I'm able to retain more information, just because I'm actually working out.
And one of the profound help as well to sort of balance all of that is to make sure that you meditate. Because the meditation as well is also a health base as well too, because it actually stimulates the mind in keeping on a balanced level, so you're able to now think better, focus better, so even when those stress come, you understand that you're grounded, right? So, and that's what I find with the whole exercise as well, that meditating tend to help because it keeps you on a balance.
So for the average person, what would you suggest in the process of meditating?
Well, I'm not a professional
when I hear meditating, I'm thinking,
no.
Keisha, if you're seeing me, I'm sorry.
I'm not a professional meditationist, so I won't go deeper into what meditation is. But I can speak based on my own experience. Is that when I wake in the morning, I spend 10 minutes to 15 minutes with myself, right? So it's cluttering my mind, right, in understanding that my day is going to be perfect regardless of whatever challenges that's happening outside, right? So I going through in my whole thought is like, what is it that I did yesterday that I need to focus on today, right? Because it's a continuation of every day is a continuation of what you left off yesterday, right? So it's going back in my thoughts, what is it that I have unfinished that I didn't finish yesterday, knowing that I'm thinking pictures. So if those pictures flash back into my mind, I'm now able to now keep those on a balanced thought and then now move continuously with those in terms of seeing it, listening to Deepak Chopra, and understand that, knowing that, you know, everything is in a state of becoming, and just keep moving onwards for those stuff.
Wow. I love that, because, you know, building on that, as you say, it's making that time in the morning like just ensuring you have that me time, that time with self. Because I find that I usually find that I used to just get a rush because, you're thinking the traffic. And as soon as I applied those simple techniques where I took, you know, like 10 to 15 minutes, do some deep breathing exercises, read, just that quiet time. It's a me time, I call it. It makes my whole outlook for my day so different. So I'm like going in, I'm in a bubble of laughter and positive energy, and like, oh, so you're coming with your negative. It just bounces off.
Yes.
Because you have that different mindset going into what you have to do. And part of, you know, what I do as a lifestyle coach is look at your life. You know, what is it you do and how you do it? How can we improve aspects of it? Because the whole idea is that you're successful, but the things that help you to get to that level of success, will it move you to significance? And these are the simple things. So, you know, Andre sharing his perspective as a fitness and wellness professional, he's right on point. And, you know, it's simple techniques because, you know, as you said, you lost 30 pounds, you know. Andre gives us a lot of heat in the room because, you know, come on, you know. He's a guy who entered the bodybuilding competition and all of that, and just using I think it was 14 years he's been
14
doing
years,
this.
yes.
You know, and that's commendable. Malcolm Gladwell, you know, in one of his books, write about, you know, 10,000 hours. You are an authority on that. So just that tip on the meditation in the morning is really amazing, and I've applied it in my life, and it works superbly.
Because you see, one of the things too is that you have to understand that you come in this world as an individual, and you're going out as an individual.
Wow.
So the more fact of it that you understand that I am in this world on my own, regardless of you may have a wife, you may have a kid or anything. When you die in that coffin, you're the one alone going back there. When you came to your mom's womb, you're the one who came out. So it's spending that 10 minutes every morning to repair your mind, repair your thoughts, repair your feelings, repair who you are as a person, know what your purpose is, and understand that you're facing a world that is unchallenged, that is challenging regardless, in the sense of whatever is happening on a day-to-day basis, but you're not allowing what's happening outside to phase you. So that's the way, you know, you keep your body in a tip-top shape, you know, and ensuring that, you know, you're doing everything that is able to keep you in a sustained manner moving forward.
So you guys mentioned about the importance of listening to stuff. How about personal development? Why is it important for you laugh because the three of us already know, right? But okay, we're gonna pause for the cause. We gotta pay some bills. Chelsea's giving us the look, so we'll be right back.
All great leaders begin with a vision to start a movement, to make a real impact in society, communicating their message and aligning themselves with like-minded people to equip and inspire others to attain their vision. Creating a vital, healthy community is a group effort, and at the heart of it, you'll find local businesses and organizations fueled by committed people who are passionate about building a better tomorrow for us all. The Toronto Caribbean newspaper has started their own movement, promising to focus on the needs of the community, seeking out relationships with businesses and corporations that share in that same mission. We are legacy builders with one shot to make a difference, and together we can empower the community by adding value, instilling self-worth, and showcasing the cultural identity of our beautiful and ethnically diverse community. As business leaders, we have a corporate responsibility to set the tone of our community with principles led by performance-focused results. By combining our reach, we can provide a platform to establish and share our contributions with the world. We are all people working for companies that are interested in building a better community, helping people stand tall and be proud of their culture. If anybody has ever done it, then you can too. We are all capable, and working together, combining our skills and resources, we can make a change and leave behind an unforgettable legacy.
we are back with The Gloves Are Off. It is an amazing Friday afternoon, and I have in studio with me two amazing entrepreneurs. One is an entrepreneur on health, and one is an entrepreneur on the mind. And it's important. Two key factors to success.
Yes, yes.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and building on the personal development question, personal development is continuous. It's evolving. It's ongoing. And as Andre mentioned earlier, when you take care of the mind, body, spirit, and soul, personal development is a key aspect of that. And I always say, to my clients or just in conversation, I'm not an expert, because an expert, this amount and you stop there. But what I want to do is, as I evolve, I become an authority, because I'm constantly applying personal development techniques. So for example, the gloves are off here. So I share that I have a relationship coach, even though I'm happily married, I still have a relationship call on dial, because I don't get things right all the time. I have a mentor. So my mentor is on call. I have a business coach, and there's a success coach, because that becomes important to me, that I am constantly making, like a fork, the next bite better than the last. Yes. And that's what personal development signifies to me, because I'm a foodie. So I just think the next bite is going to be better. And that's how personal development is applied in my life. So if I'm not doing a certification or a terminal program, I'm doing something.
And to add to that, the person that's watching that would automatically think, hearing that he has like 5 coaches. Is it 5 coaches?
Four
coaches.
Yeah.
Some people would think, I don't have time for that. That's a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
But if you don't make time for yourself, you're gonna fail. It's hands down, because you have to be able. When we started to grow as a business, it was when I decided that, okay, and I've realized that we have only got our business to where we are because of how I think and what I know. And in order to make it grow further, I have to go out and find people that have already reached those rungs, and I had to start growing my mind before I can grow anybody else's mind in business. So for the people that say that they don't have time, well, it's usually the gloves are off. It's usually the people have a job.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you said there, because one of the things that Andre mentioned, you gotta look after you. It's about wellness. It's he's a fitness and wellness professional. So the wellness aspect of it is making time for the things that matter. What matters to you is you, as he mentioned. You came in this world alone. You're gonna go out alone. And one of the key questions I ask my clients, and I've asked myself that, my coaches and mentors ask me that, what are the 3 things that you want to be remembered for? When you think of the epitaphs on your grave, if you do have a grave, but what is it you want to be remembered for? And, when you think of it, it's a question that you need to ask yourself, because it helps you uncover your passion, it helps you unfold your purpose, and it allows me being here in this capacity to share the power of my story. So one of the things that I recall saying is that I want to be a wonderful husband to my wife, Sharon. I want to be a superb friend, not just to my buddies here, Andre, and my, group of friends the world over, but I also want to be an amazing teacher, because in my role as a lifestyle coach, as an academic, and a creative professional, in the various sectors I've worked, it's important that you have learning as a key aspect of your teaching, because as a reflective practitioner, you also have to reflect back what the world is sharing with you, what my clients are teaching me as I interact with them, what my students are teaching me, my friends, and how do you bring that back to all that you're doing. So you have to say, okay, if I'm gonna die, what is it my legacy will be, and focus on that. And it makes life and living a lot easier, because everything I do is focused on those 3 areas of my life.
But then again, I would also add to is focus on the why.
Oh, well, yes. That's a powerful, because
but the legacy will be part of your why.
Yeah,
too,
so
right?
the 3,
why. But
those 3 things come. The why is like the key.
Yes.
The why, what I do, and for whom I do it.
Yes.
You know, because if you don't answer those 3 key questions, then pretty much you're living your life in futility.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Yeah,
true.
so, and at the same time too is visualizing, you know, your entire overall process of your life. You know, what are the things that you want to accomplish in looking at the why, and then while you look at the why, then everything itself will actually show up, because you know you're going to take care of the body, you're going to take care of the mind, and you're going to also take care of the spirit as well, because those are 3 components of what makes a person complete, right? So is making sure that you're eating right, you know, making sure that you're going to, you know, whether if you're atheist or whoever you are, you know, is making sure that you have that understanding of, you know, what is your purpose, and you know, taking care of this the self-development part of it as well. So it's a full balance of just taking care of you, right? Because it's all about you, and if you take care of you, then you can take care of other people, right? So is shutting yourself and away from the whole negative understanding of really what's happening around, you know, because there are going to be a lot of negative that's going to always throw at you, because you know there's more negative than actually positive, right? So if you keep dwelling on the negative that's there, then you're going to now be sucked in to all of that, because you may think that, okay, you know, watching a video of somebody cutting off somebody's head, or you know, something that is, you know, that's gonna let you feel cringe. You know, if you keep focusing on that, because you know, if before you go to your bed at night, that's what you watch, that's exactly what's going to play on your subconscious mind while you're
That's
sleeping,
what you take in.
right? That's what you're taking in.
Yeah.
So if you keep watching the newspaper, reading newspaper, watching news, you know, watch what's happening on social media, that's all of these negative things that's there, that's exactly what you're going to attract to you, you know, because we are all attraction, you know, we're all persons, we attract different things towards us, right? So it's in keeping that entire body moving, right? So it's a mental state, because once you deal with here, then you have to deal with the body as well. You know?
And it's so true too, because I mean, a lot of times we spent the last show talking about the importance of your gut, right, and the importance of your intake, but we focus mainly, when we think of health, we always think of one thing, and that's our intake and food. We never think of up here and protecting what gets in our ears, right? It is crucial, and especially in this day and age, people don't realize the importance of it, and I see it all the time. Angry people, and what do angry people share on Facebook? Like you look on social media, angry people,
they're
and
venting,
and they don't realize
spewing,
that they're affecting their own lives.
They're spewing negative,
because that's what they're attracting towards them every day. You know, you're attracting that because it's energy.
Because that's also what they
there.
pay attention to.
Yeah,
exactly. So you know, as I reflect even on what's shared here, or listeners, you know, myself, what we have to remember is that when you talk about feeding the mind now, so it's not just about food intake, but how are you feeding your mind? What nourishment? So is the food you're eating giving your mind the nourishment it needs? Are you doing your exercise, your meditation? So I love to bike. I used to dance semi-professionally. I still do my dancing, you know, and I am the world's best singer. Correction, in the shower. But I do that because part of that is really making sure that mentally, you know, I'm intact. I'm always there. You know, I have a session called Hugh and Hugh, and what I do is I don't answer myself, I just talk. And
that would be a good show.
Is really, you know, the conversation, because as Andre say, what is it you're pulsing? How are you being in touch with yourself? What are you listening to? Are you listening to the vibrations of your body? What are you reading? So for example, I'm not saying to the listeners and the viewers that don't watch television and stuff, but you got to filter, you got to create boundaries, you got to, as you know, in my capacity as a lifestyle coach, I remind people that you got to create boundaries. You know, someone's gonna spew some negativity, you just say stop in your track there. You know, I can't accommodate that.
But speaking about TV, my mentor said it once too. If you're finding hardships in your life, if you're finding a struggle or a stress, take a look at what you're intaking. Because if you're watching, I don't know, Young and Restless, or things full of commotion and problems with relationships and stuff like that, and you're having problems with relationships, take a step back and realize where you're taking your intake from.
Why are you reading fashion magazines? When you know, is it an aspiration or is it just an interest?
Yes.
And one of the things that I found with fashion magazine, it makes people feel bad about themselves. And I say that you have to filter out of your life, because part of the whole filtering and listening to you is being able to accept you at the intersection you're at, and then say, this is what I want to do, and start being wholesome and healthy thoughts about that. So when Andre speaks about wellness, the mind, you talk about what are we taking in. We have to start setting boundaries. We have to create mental models that work to get us to be the best version of ourselves at all times. Because if we don't filter, I'm reminded, my wife says, oh, you love the Gleaner. Having my childhood in Jamaica, the Gleaner is the leading daily paper, and I love to read. I'm a voracious reader, and to this day I buy the Globe and Mail, the Toronto, and I sit with my coffee and I read. But what am I reading? That's a question. I'm very into politics, but I don't discuss it. I'm into religion, but I don't discuss it. So I'm not going to discuss things that are going to provoke rancor and thought. What I want to help people to do is that you can have interest. So I go to the art section. I'm a cinephile. I love movies. So let's go binge watching. Let's go Midnight Madness at TIFF. Do the things that it's going to take you out of your comfort zone, because nothing grows in their comfort zone.
It's true. It's true.
And if they get too small in the pot, you have to get out of it, get into a bigger
pot.
Yeah.
So do things that get you out of your comfort zone. And I always say, as you said, your mentor says, look at the things that you're filtering, and see how it plays out in your life, because the power of who you are comes from your thoughts.
It's true. It's true. Guys, we have in studio here, we have two entrepreneurs, Andre Rose and Hugh Simmons. Both are entrepreneurs, CEOs, and authors, and they are here today to talk about the importance of the mind and the body. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
When we are born, the world is a foreign place. We have not yet mastered the use of our five senses, and our eyes cannot decipher the complexities of judgments we do not know. As children, our innocence allows us to see a world of endless possibilities. We thrive in the world of imagination, creating a place where everyone writes a unique story, and there is zero judgment, since everyone is the same, yet unique in their own way. Over the years, humanity has altered our ways of thinking, creating stigma, judgment, and prejudice based on the history of our ancestors. We have trained ourselves to believe that our history puts us at a disadvantage in society. Our unique and exotic classifications are a testament to the diversity of the world. History doesn't have a future. It's set in stone. The possibility for change lies in our responsibility to know our self-worth, learning from the history, embracing and honoring our heritage, while educating, inspiring, and empowering others to see past what's in front of them to the power inside. It's not about what you look like. It's about realizing the potential of humanity and recognizing the greatness in everyone. It's time to invest in solutions, change the conversation, and think differently about our future. Life isn't a competition of who can do better than the other. It's about eradicating prejudice, boosting self-esteem, discovering our identity, and carving out our own legacy while aspiring to achieve greatness.
And welcome back. We got in studio Mr. Hugh Simmons and Andre Rose, who are both authors and CEOs. You're listening to The Gloves Are Off, the show on business and success. We talk about many things to do with entrepreneurship, the struggles, the victories. Today we are talking about health and wellness and the importance of keeping yourself maintained up here and here.
Yes, and down here too.
Yeah, he opened with that.
Yeah, I wasn't going there.
You have to keep the testosterone.
So let me ask you something. Let's get on the testosterone for a little bit. So you were saying that as a male adult hitting the age of 40, we
Yes.
start to get more estrogen.
Yes.
So what are some of the things, why is it important for a male adult to have more testosterone besides, you know what I mean? But why is it important for us to be maintaining that? And what are some of the steps that we can do to change it?
Well, one, you have to make sure that you're eating right.
Okay.
Right? You're drinking lots of water.
Okay.
You have to ensure that which the survey that I've done is to find that men don't eat red meat, right?
You got to come to my house.
Red meat has a lot of testosterone inside of it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because it purifies, because the cow, all of
Yeah.
the beef, all of those stuff has the red meat inside of it. So what you find is that when men are becoming, as the Harvard University has done the study, is when a man becomes 20, he starts to lose 2% of his testosterone year over year. When you get to 40, it becomes more challenging. So what you find is that the sex drive start to get lower. You start to also lose energy. You find that by the middle of the day, you're getting tired. Then you find that your belly now start to come into play. When the belly comes into play is where the visceral fat comes into play, right? So if you're finding that you start to expand in your stomach, is the testosterone level is now decreasing and the estrogen level starts to increase, right?
Okay.
So you're not able to break down, you don't have a lot of energy to move, right? So the more you go older, you realize you start to get lesser and lesser and lesser in your testosterone.
But doesn't that go against what they say, doctors say? The gloves are off, right? So I got to challenge them. But doesn't that go against some where they say, like, eating too much red meat can give you gout? It's not good to eat a lot of red meat.
But it depends on how much red meat and how often you do eat it. I'm a professional bodybuilder.
Okay.
While I was training, red meat,
Every day.
ground beef, steak, those are a lot. But at the same time, your estrogen level is also important.
Okay.
Don't think that it's not important. But so that's when you get your vegetables. That's when you get your carrots, all of those stuff to also balance, because you need a balance. Just like everything else, you do need a balance. So you're gonna eat your red meat for the testosterone. You're gonna eat your vegetables for the estrogen. So it gives you a balance now, right? Because you need that energy throughout the day to sustain you. Because if you eat red meat, say for instance, you eat red meat yesterday for dinner, right? You need energy. You wake up in the morning, you may probably, because you're a fast-going person, right? You're moving. You wake up in the morning, you're moving so fast you don't even get a chance. So what you find throughout the day, because the meat is still in your system, it's able to sustain you continuously as you move on. So you'll find that a lot of bodybuilders, we eat hot pizza, we eat pizza, we eat pasta, we eat red meat, ground beef, and all those stuff. Pizza, yes.
Really?
Yes, because you need that energy, right? So tell me, which dietary preservation you see there that is done for men? Tell me which one. Have you ever seen a diet that is
so what's in
designed?
pizza though? You got me a pizza right now. What's in pizza that's good for you?
No, everything is good for you. Everything is good in pizza for you.
Oh,
everything
really?
Really?
in pizza, yes, everything in
You
pizza.
see where I was getting at, right? Because
Everything in
all this
pizza.
time I've been
Because
avoiding
you will eat pizza, but how often do you eat the pizza?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So it's
Right?
moderation.
It's moderation.
Oh,
okay.
Right? So you may say, and as I asked a question which you didn't answer, is how much diet that's there currently in the market that is designed for a man? Do you see any? It's all designed for a woman. Women spend 90% of their time in the kitchen, and when they do cook to preserve or to help, to keep their body in shape, right? So when you eat, you find that when you go out to work, you're tired, you're lousy, you have that deepish energy. So, it's like by the time you go to the gym, you feel, oh God, you can't bother, because why? Your sustained energy throughout the day is not there.
So
Right?
as a male, for the male entrepreneurs out there that may not be out there to bodybuilder and like that, what would be a balanced, nutritious day? You know what I mean? Like a meal plan for a week. What would be a proper meal plan?
For me, no, I'm gonna say for me, how I work it for me, because it may work for what plan for me may not work for Hugh, may not work for you.
Yeah.
So everybody body is designed in a different form, right? So for me, when I wake in the morning, I'll have probably my oats, right? I probably have my coffee, which I love my coffee as well. So the coffee, because it has the caffeine in it, that gives me energy as well to continue, right? So I'll go to the gym and I'll have my coffee, plus I have my vitamins, right? Which is like my creatine vitamins, branched chain amino acid, which is you can take those as well as dietary supplements, or I also use my male balance, right? So the male balance have like the vitamin C in it, it has the vitamin 12 in it, it has the B complex, it has all of those nutrients inside of it. So it's a complete energy. In the day, I may probably, depending on how my day may go, right? I may have probably whether it be beef, ground beef, or chicken, or do fish. Fish, I would be salmon, because it, that has a lot of protein in it as well, right? And in the evening, I probably go to work, and depending on after that, how my day goes after that. But I make sure at least having two full balanced diet, two balanced meal throughout the day, that will also sustain my energy.
It's interesting you say that, because again, this is what you do, and it's exciting to hear, because each of us, we have different bodies, and so part of the adjustment, coming back, to Canada after being in the Caribbean and the U.S. for a little time, I found that because we have tropical climate, I would eat a lot more, because I'm perspiring, I'm expelling a lot of energy, burning energy. Yes. But here now, I do small portions. So like Andre, I do my coffee, I do my cereal, but I make sure I have a mix of vegetable and proteins, and I do have my carbs. I do that in the morning. I do drink a lot of water, and I do, oh gosh, the coffee company will be happy, but yeah, I do about 6 to 8 cups a day.
A coffee?
Yeah.
I thought I was doing bad with my 2.
The gloves are off. And what I do is, my walks, we do our walks in the evening at least 4 times a week, but I like biking. And one of the things with the biking is a mix of the great outdoors, having the opportunity to go and just, doing the crazy stuff, that I would do as a kid, or not doing it as much, but also making sure I have the opportunity to burn, because by time now comes to rest, what is it your mind is focusing on? Yep. So I find the small portions help. So I end up having like 4 small portions, like on the 3-hour mark throughout the day. And then, my wife and I, we have supper. It's very British, but yeah, we do have supper. And that's a light fare, because by then you don't want to be having your stomach working for the next 4 hours. No, you want to make sure you have things.
And North Americans, they teach you differently. You eat like the big meal for dinner, and that's probably where you start getting this too, right?
Yeah, and what you find too as well too is that a lot of probably you don't cook. A lot of people don't cook. A lot of North Americans don't cook. You get food ready in the grocery store already. Yeah. So you just go there, you pick it up, you take it home, you push it in the microwave, and you eat it. That's processed food, right? But from the Caribbean, my grandmother has always taught me how to cook, right? So I make sure that I cook my food myself, right? So you cooking your food yourself, now you're able to now control all of the MSG that is going inside of your food, right? So you know that, okay, am I going to have my green bananas, which is good in iron, and all your yam, your sweet potatoes, and my dumplings, because I love dumplings, right? I love
the
dumplings.
Gloves are off.
Yeah. I love dumplings, right? So I mean, so all of those stuff, when you prepare that, with your chicken and all of those stuff, then it gives you a healthy, as a man, eating those kind of food. So you have sustained energy to sustain your level. But at the same time, I also make sure that I do, in putting it like on a Sunday, I do my fasting on a Sunday, right? So it's cleansing, so you're cleansing what is it that you go throughout the week. So you cleanse your system at the same time, whether you're going to do your detox, or you're going to do you're drinking your lots of water to not flush your system, because the time when you eat, it goes into your stomach, then it moves into your kidney, and then it moves to your liver, right? So if all of those stuff are not processed properly, then that's how you actually have all of the contamination that comes in, where you can look through your fingertips here. So if you see your fingertips that is starting to get in black,
yes, I've seen that.
Right. So if you start to see your fingertips starting to get black, you realize now that that's what's happening, is that your blood is not circulating properly in your body, because there's some contamination that's taking place with the liver or with the kidney. What's happening there? Also, at the same time too, you can also look at the under eye, right? So if your under eye is starting to get black, then you realize that your blood is not circulating properly as well.
I heard too, if you have those bumps or something, your cholesterol.
Yes.
Right.
So there are various ways in which that you can actually tell what's going on inside of the body.
Okay.
Freckles that also comes onto the forehead too, into the skin as a man. That's exactly because your prostate is not flushing as fast as it should, because there's some sense of contamination that's taking place there.
Wow.
Wow.
And those information I get because I readily, easily go to the doctor to make sure that I get my physical often, to make sure that, you know, I'm in good shape at the same time.
So Andre, I like that. Let me pick up on the fact that you said, you know, going to the doctor to get your physical. And as a, you know, a lifestyle coach, and when I do speak, I have audience with men, I have audience with women. And one of the encouragement is getting men, especially ethnic communities, to go do your health and physical check. You know, it's like the whole thing. I
don't.
No, well, oh, come on. I did my prostate test.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, coming from our community is like, oh, I don't want anybody to do that to me and stuff. And I'm like, your health, if you're talking about this body, as Andre, as a health and wellness professional, is sharing with us, or fitness and wellness professionals sharing with us, we gotta take care of this. This is our temple. This is for us to take care of.
And you're living only one life.
And this is what's gonna take you through it,
yes,
right?
It's only one you're living.
Yeah, you gotta do that. So
yeah.
I'm happy he's sharing that. The body shows you signs of where these distresses are, or, you know, health challenges, that you can correct that. And, you know, you don't have to go look up in a book. Hello, it's right there. So he's sharing, and really thank you for reiterating that, because these are some of the conversations we have, you know, even before we kickstart our session. And it is very important, especially for black men. You know, it's a growing demographic, that prostate cancer. You know, and if I'm a lifestyle coach, I'm going to say to you, if your lifestyle is your life, then health and wellness is the core of, and spiritual wellness is the core from which everything flows.
So, but at the same time, if Steve Jobs said, if one thing he had ever in his life he wished for he had, was health.
Yeah.
6 months, in 2004, when he was diagnosed with the sickness that he had.
Yeah.
They give them how many months after to live, right?
Yeah.
And when he went to, I don't remember what's the name of the university that he went to present, but he did talk about his health, that he wished
in his commencement
speech,
yeah.
that if anything else he wished he had was health, and that was depreciating
Because
at a great.
you can have all the money
pace.
in the world,
And
but if you
health.
don't have health,
And look how much money he had, and because I guess probably because he was not taking care of himself at an early stage. I mean, I'm taking care of men over 40, but I'm only about turning 38 years old, right? So I'm preparing myself that when I get to that age,
spring chicken.
I'm preparing myself that when I get to that age, I am not worried about my health.
We're going to take a quick break. I just want to send a shout out to Brandon V on the outside, Christina, and Shireen, who's laughing at the dumplings. Shireen, you got to show some love for Andre as well. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more.
When we are born, the world is a foreign place. We have not yet mastered the use of our five senses, and our eyes cannot decipher the complexities of judgments we do not know. As children, our innocence allows us to see a world of endless possibilities. We thrive in the world of imagination, creating a place where everyone writes a unique story, and there is zero judgment, since everyone is the same, yet unique in their own way. Over the years, humanity has altered our ways of thinking, creating stigma, judgment, and prejudice based on the history of our ancestors. We have trained ourselves to believe that our history puts us at a disadvantage in society. Our unique and exotic classifications are a testament to the diversity of the world. History doesn't have a future. It's set in stone. The possibility for change lies in our responsibility to know our self-worth, learning from the history, embracing and honoring our heritage, while educating, inspiring, and empowering others to see past what's in front of them to the power inside. It's not about what you look like, it's about realizing the potential of humanity and recognizing the greatness in everyone. It's time to invest in solutions, change the conversation, and think differently about our future. Life isn't a competition of who can do better than the other. It's about eradicating prejudice, boosting self-esteem, discovering our identity, and carving out our own legacy while aspiring to achieve greatness.
And we are back, and today we have two entrepreneurs, two CEOs, authors. We have Andre Rose, who is a professional in the health realm, and we have Mr. Hugh Simmons, who is the professional in the mind, body, and spirit realm.
Thank you.
And personal development.
Yeah.
So Hugh, you during break, I always say the best conversations happen in that, where sometimes the mic would be left on.
Yeah.
So why don't you reiterate a little bit on what you were saying?
Yeah, so, for me, I am a foodie, and one of the things that I don't diet. There's no dieting in my house. What I've learned, being a vegetarian for 15 years, I learned that you have to know what your body likes and what it doesn't like. So, for example, while I love milk, dairy, it really goes against my sinuses. I had the worst allergy attack this past spring. So what I've done is to move to almond milk. I don't do soy unless it's fermented. So part of that is to make sure I'm eating, nuts and fruits, and I'm having my green and my red juice, because Andre talk about flushing, cleansing your system. That's all part of it. I am not making any claims that it will do for you, but for me, I understand me. And as I said, while red meat is important, I can't do beef because it burns my stomach. It sets my stomach on fire. So I have to find other ways to supplement,
Increasing the
to
testosterone,
increase in the testosterone. Because then I have to focus. I don't mind the estrogen. It makes me emotional, as Whitney Houston said. I do get emotional. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
So Hugh, why don't we got a few minutes left?
Okay.
For it went fast.
Yes, it did.
It went
having
really, really
fun.
fast. Yeah. As an entrepreneur, why don't you talk a little bit about?
Okay. Well, thank you, Grant, for asking that. The most important thing is, as Napoleon Hill says, if the mind can conceive, then you can achieve. And the dreams, the desires, the determination that you need to really be your best self, or to make sure the next bite, as my imaginary fork here, is better than the last, is really to feed your mind with the things that really are wholesome, healthy, positive, and affirm who you are as an individual, not just the roles you play in life, but who you are to yourself, because that's the first thing. You have to live with yourself, whether you like it or not. That's what we have to do daily. And part and parcel of living with self is to be comfortable about the thing. So if there's a belly fat, now we have Andre who will help us walk through that, sharing with us, okay, maybe your testosterones are going, but we can now do something about that. What is your passion? So he talks about cooking his own food. I love to cook, and the gloves are off. There's an expression, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And I rewrote that, because my wife will tell you that's what I use, because I love to cook. And odes to my parents and my elder siblings. I'm a mean chef, and we cook at home. We do eat out, but we do a lot of cooking at home. The kitchen is alive and well. So part of that is to feed the mind and the body. So how do you do that? Read. Conversation. I find that we're so connected to our digital phones or platforms or mobile phones or laptop or this and that. One of the things that helps human being, and there's a study that Canadians are having 26% less conversation than they did last year,
Because they used to texting.
because they're so used to texting. I'm seeing my daughter interacting, and their friends are together and they're texting each other, and I'm like, this is ridiculous and absurd. And part of that, the art of conversation, the art of storytelling, which I share with my client, it's very important, because that is part of our lived memory. It's part of our his and her story. So how you feed the mind is through engagement. When we talk about organizations, when I do corporate training, someone coming to sell you something, there is a sacred honor. It's not a transaction, it's a relationship. So how do you nurture that relationship? How do you nurture the individuals in the relationship? And it's first stimulating the mind, because I don't buy what I hear, I buy you. And the fact is, if I'm convinced that you have stimulated me intellectually, you have stimulated me as a professional, then that says to me, okay, you know your stuff. Because at the end of the day, if it's a transaction you're interested in, as I teach my clients, if you're going out there to offer a service, it's about the sacred honor. That's how you build trust. It's not a transaction. And that's what we're losing as we lose a conversation. So how do we stimulate and keep the mind alert? We engage each other through conversation. We read. We do the outdoor thing. We do what Andre shared with us, what your mentor is sharing with you, and what we're learning in our interactions and interactions.
And a good thing to add to that too is a lot of people will say, especially as entrepreneurs, is I don't read. I don't have time to read.
But you do. Because remember nowadays that you have a lot of information that's on book also in audio.
Well, that's exactly right.
Because I was about to pull that. Yeah.
Well, you could turn. I mean, the old saying, you could turn your car into a university, right?
Yeah, but it is.
Yeah.
But
You
it
know,
is.
it is. Because you spend so much time. You spend so much time in traffic. I mean, you're listening to garbage. Everybody's spewing this, spewing that.
Yeah.
Why don't you put a CD in?
Spewing their opinions.
Yeah, spewing their opinions. You know, why don't you put a CD in there that it keeps educate you, keep self-development, because it's all about you being being self-developed in moving continuously on a day-to-day basis. Because if you're not getting that information, that's going to help you, because when those challenges come, what are you going to do? Are you going to respond or are you going to react? Which one are you going to choose, right? So it's what do you do at the particular time when that challenge comes, in making sure that you're ready and equipped with the information to take on the challenge when they come.
It's not just that too. My mentor always says that if you look at what a black belt is, a black belt is a master of basics, right? And unless you practice and feed your mind to be able to combat your daily struggles, whether it's physically or mentally, when you come as a business owner, it is crucial. You have to do it. You have to make time.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's just like any other health issue or anything else. I mean, you have to make that time to prepare yourself for it. Become the master of basics.
I love that, because when you're able to make time for what matters, feeding the mind, the body, the spirit, and the soul, really, what is it you're filtering? What are the boundaries? I go back to that. What is it you want to take in? Because energy comes from within, not external. Happiness comes from within. It's not external. And if you're not feeding and reinforcing positive thoughts, filtering positive messages, then what are you going to spew? And, people, I do say, we all have our opinions. But again, what are the convictions and the values that go, and the morale that guide those opinions and stuff? And part of that, you say, if you can use an audio recording to learn something, I do that with Napoleon Hill's book. I listen to Joel Osteen, I listen to TDJ, I listen to Tony Robbins. One of my success coach speaks about Brené Brown, about the whole thing of vulnerability, understanding those things and what you need to do to improve. So you may not be able to sit down and read the book, but if you're in this city where you spend so much time commuting, then make the car the university of life.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of the tools.
Well, not to mention too, it hits me. Not to mention too, if you look at any successful business owner that's out there, and I'm not talking about locally, I'm talking like the tycoons that are out there. I mean, we just look at their success, but if you actually break down what they do on a daily basis, 99.9% of the time is they feed their mind. They're always listening and learning and figuring new ways. I heard that the average millionaire reads 60 books per year.
Yeah, but that's true, because Bill Gates, he always recommend the books he's gonna read. And one of the things that I do is to get to at least half through his list in the books he recommend. Dr. Travis Bradbury, we're on LinkedIn together. He's the author of Emotional Intelligence 2.0, and he speaks to the characteristics of highly successful leaders and people, and part of that is reading and exercise. You know, because if you're not feeding oxygen to the brain, how are you going to make the best decision that impact millions of people?
Yes.
Make decision that impact you first and foremost. So part and parcel of that is really making sure that the mind, as you say, is in its best state at all times. Whether, you know, the anxiety that I may face just responding to the demands in life daily, or whether I'm dealing with feedback to help my client, you know, from a take-home assignment. What is it that you're doing to get your mind clear? So, for example, being here, nothing else matters right now than being here. Being alive, being well, and being present in this moment. Because you're living in eternal now. Yeah, because we gotta know that the eternal now, this moment, the power of now is what you have. So focus your energy so we can give our viewers and our listeners our best selves. And if we are not able to give our best selves, then we gotta pull back and do a litmus test. Check ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There's your final thoughts for sure on mind, body.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, is ensuring that men do take care of themselves, right? Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you won't be able to take care of your family. Because, I mean, it's important that, you know, you get your prostate check, get your liver check, get your kidney check, and at the same time increase your testosterone level, that you can have a sustained energy and a sustained relationship with your wife.
Nice. How can people follow you, Hugh?
So you can check me out on Instagram, you know, at Hugh HUANTHONI, at Twitter, and I'm on LinkedIn. So, you know, Hugh Anthony, HUGHANTHONY, and my lifestyle boutique firm, www.consulate.com. So you can find me there. So hook me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
your book,
or LinkedIn, and of course the exciting books, The Ultimate Guide to Public Speaking: 7 Steps to Professional Mastery, and a new one focusing on men, identity, sexuality, and misidentity. It's coming out, and that is the title of it is Whose Frame Is It? Yeah.
You can find it on Amazon.
So we're gonna have that coming out for 2018 fall.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Your first book's on Amazon?
So my first book will be coming on Amazon for spring 2018.
Sure. Okay. And you?
And you can reach me at steelunderwear.com. And also on Facebook.
We never got to talk about that quickly. Tell people your company that you own.
Okay, so I own an underwear company called Buns of Steel, Steel by Andre Rose. It's a moisture wicking bamboo fiber underwear. It's made from bamboo. It's made locally as well. What it does is that it wicks the moisture away from the skin. In the summertime, it keeps you cool in the summer times, and it keeps you warm in the winter times. My website is www.andrerose.ca. Also, my book is The Unstoppable Pursuit, 7 sneak preview of the coming attraction.
Nice. Is that on Amazon?
Not yet. We're still in the final working stage.
And Grant, I might add, my wife is a customer of Buns of Steel, but I'm the model for that. Gloves are off.
There you have it, folks, and we're not getting any models in here, so it's okay. You guys saw the carnival models before. That's as far as we're going for today. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome conversation today.
Thank you.
Make sure you tune in next week. We have Mark Trinidad and Kevin Hune coming in next week. I don't know why I had a brain freeze there, but anyways, you're watching The Gloves Are Off, the show on business and success, and it is another week that has passed by. Make sure you make the weekend count, and by that I don't mean going out and partying, but go out and chase your dreams. Guys, we'll see you next Friday. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.